Mid lane, Reckless AD carry, and Yellow Star the support.
And on the red side, we have Gambit Gaming with Darren in the top lane, we have Diamond in the jungle, Alex in the mid lane, Genji as the AD carry, and of course Edward is the support.
And the featured matchup in this game is between the AD carries, Reckless versus Genji. Now, Genji had great lane presence yesterday, which caused a whole host of problems for Millennium.
Genji's been playing Lucian a lot lately. He puts a lot of focus onto the laning phase, and then he's being very, very aggressive together with Edward. And this opens up for some very good lane control, and therefore also dragon control. And with Diamond Prox as a jungler, we know how much he loves these dragons, early dragons even. And one of the keys for Gambit to win this game is for Genji and Edward to keep being this aggressive, win the lane, just like we saw yesterday against Millennium.
And while the results have not been coming for Fnatic, Reckless has been the shining light in their team, and he has to be exactly that again today if Fnatic are going to get back to winning ways.
And it is very, very rare to actually see Fnatic losing the bot lane, because Reckless, he's constantly farming well, and he has so good lane control. If he can manage to shut down Genji early on, it will lead to more objective control for Fnatic, and actually allow them to get some dragons, and also allow Cyanide to focus more on the solo laners, which really have been needing help lately. And the funny thing is, both AD carries, they really love to play Jinx. We've seen them dominate on them so many times, but both of them have kind of stopped playing her for some reason.
Yeah, really left that Jinx alone. Let's talk about the champions while we're on the topic of Jinx. What are we expecting to be highly contested when it comes to bans and picks here?
Something like a LeBlanc. Both mid laners have played it. It's really, really strong. Pretty much every single mid laner in Europe actually loves it. I expect it to be banned away, or potentially a first pick. We have Gragas. Peke was very good on it earlier in the season. Alex doesn't actually play it, so it could be a ban for Gambit to simply try and put some more pressure onto Peke. Bot lane wise, AD carries, you can ban out Genji, but it's also risky because you have to invest both the Lucian and the Jinx ban. And then overall, top lane, they just play everything.
Well, here we go then, into the bans and the picks, and the first one's already coming out. It's an Evelyn ban against Diamond. He's been a bit of a terror in the jungle. Of course, finished 3-0-11 against Millennium with that yesterday. And then the standard red side Karthus ban.
Kassadin ban, standard going in there. Evelyn actually like it because they don't want to risk this early game pressure that Diamond can put on them. Evelyn, even though she's not even ganking, is applying pressure because you don't know where she is due to the stealth. So I like that ban away to simply try and make the early game better for them.
Well, the troll will be taken away from, well, probably the master troll in the top lane as well, Darian. And there's the LeBlanc ban that we were talking about. Obviously, Alex not wanting to let Peke get his hands on that one. That will be taken away. And there's an Aatrox ban as well. Darian really forcing out the bans.
So this could actually mean that they have something planned for Source top lane, where he doesn't want to lane against an Aatrox because they're scared of the pick, or generally they just don't want to deal with it because they haven't played against it for a while, so they don't know exactly what it can bring, and they just simply ban their way because, again, they are blue side, they have a little bit more easier time with the bans because they don't have to think about this Kassadin.
And Annie was the final ban here. That will be taken out of the hands of Yellow Star, and a very, very quick first pick lock-in. We've seen Alex playing a lot of Lulu, but this time it's in there for Fnatic, and again, that could go top, middle, or bottom.
We've seen on pretty much everyone. I don't think Peke has actually played the Lulu mid yet, but he's definitely practiced it because every single mid laner knows how strong Lulu is, and we can see it go everywhere, so it's a very smart first pick. You don't give up too much, except for possibly the Elise, now open for Gambit.
And we heard some interesting comments about Elise yesterday from Amazing. He said that, you know, people aren't getting much time to practice it because she's banned out in solo queue, in scrims, and here in the LCS. So they're a little bit more easy in terms of letting that open. But it looks like Diamond's not going to have any problem with picking that one up here, and also a thresh for Edward by the looks of it.
Diamond has always been a master of playing all these champions. He's always the guy coming up with new things, so I don't expect him to be rusty on his Elise, and he obviously wants it because it is such a strong pick overall. Can pretty much work in every single combo. The fresh pick for Edward, it is his favorite support. He can set up plays, he can land the hooks, put back the lantern, get the Elise coming in for a gank, and you can do so many things, and you apply so much pressure in the laning phase, but also teamfight wise because you have so good peeling with your box, with your fillet, and also you can engage fight with your hook.
So what are Fnatic going to lock in here? They've not going to get their hands on Thresh and Elise, so will they go for their support player yet, or is that support already locked in? That's the question that we have to figure out here. And actually there's a lock-in pretty quickly for Cyanide picking his own champion, Wukong in the jungle for Fnatic.
So with Wukong and Lulu, they already have some wombo combo. Wukong goes in, gets speeded up when he's in stealth, pops into the backline, ultimates, and then Lulu ultimate follow up, and you have this double knock-up scenario. Pretty good engage for them, also very good survivability for Wukong. He can build Black Cleaver and still survive the team fights because he has the ultimate from Lulu. And there, Sivir fits absolutely perfect into the combo because, again, you can speed up the entire team, rush into the backline of Gambit, and start a fight.
So what are Gambit going to reply to this one, then we saw them hovering over Nidalee, but there's a whole host of champions open here for Alex Ich. Kha'Zix, for example, is still in there. Gragas, which is a safer pick, I think, not knowing exactly where that Lulu's going.
Gragas is overall just a fantastic pick. He's very early game, is not the strongest, but as soon as he is like level 5, he can start wave clearing, and he can just always farm. And he scales really well into late game. He's strong overall, he can disengage fights, he can start fights, and you have so much poke as well if you want to siege. So we could potentially see Genji on something like Lucian, and then they focus on getting ahead early, and then just poking down Fnatic, making sure they can't engage because it's simply too low.
And all the AD carries, obviously, apart from Sivir, open for this one. Caitlyn Thresh, we know how strong of a lane that one is, although Genji isn't really a big fan of Caitlyn. In fact, he's not really played it much this season, just one game, in fact. No, that's even a lie, because they played Rockout. Obviously, they had subs in there. It's going to be Lucian either way for Genji.
It will be the Lucian pick. A lot of poke, a lot of lane control. Very good against Sivir as well, because you will outrange her with your Q. So you can get on some good arrest, land the Q, go forward, double auto attack with your passive, back off again. So it's a very smart pickup, and Genji loves to play it because it is so safe, more or less. And it works in every single scenario, and it also scales fairly well into the late game.
Well, this is where it gets interesting for Fnatic now. We know that we've got the jungler and AD carry. Possible Lulu for literally anywhere on the map. At this stage of things. So we'll see if Peke is going to take that one and what Soaz is going to be running.
With Soaz, again, we haven't seen the top lane pick from Gambit, so he could potentially go for Renekton. Very safe lane, a fallback on this one. He could take a Trundle to get it. A Trundle was banned away, sorry. But yeah, Renekton would be the safe one. Seems though he will be getting the Lulu top lane, and then we have Morgana support against some of this. Not even too much hard engage from Gambit side, but at least to block some of it. And then at the same time, you have the Nidalee mid. If you get ahead with Nidalee and you start sieging down, it is one spear you need to hit, and a guy has to go back to base, and you can then start a fight with this very heavy engage comp from Fnatic.
Interesting picks for them, and interesting to see how that all works out for them.
Always Edward with the Teemo.
Of course. It's not worth commenting on at this point. But they were looking for a top laner here, basically, for Darien. Trundle taken away. Aatrox is gone. He's going to be up against that Lulu by the looks of things. And there was a lot of talk today. I mean, we saw him obviously playing Aatrox, picked up the Muramana, as you do when you're Darien. And I think the top post I actually saw on Reddit today was about him picking up the Muramana with Garen. Don't think that's going to happen, though.
I doubt it, at least. Then again, it is Darien. We never know what he's going to pick or build.
Well, we do now, because it's going to be Mundo. So he's going to have that tanky beast in the top lane. And it just fits his style so well, you know, having that survivability. He loves to run into the enemy jungle and still manage to somehow get out with 3 people chasing him.
That is the Darien style. Always try to put pressure on the map by having this teleport as well, so you can split push, join in for a fight if needed, or attract some members from Fnatic over to try and kill him, while the rest of Gambit takes the dragon and takes a turret. Laning-wise though, against the Lulu, he's gonna get harassed a lot early on, and he has absolutely no way of killing this Lulu lane-wise, so he needs to survive, he needs to get as much CS as possible, and make sure he doesn't get pushed down to his own turret and then died by someone like Sanite coming up and killing him.
What do we think to this double AP comp here for Fnatic once again? It's got a very consistent win rate for them, but sadly for them, that win rate is 0%.
Yeah, well, I won't put too much in combo-wise to Fnatic losses, because they have lost with standard combos as well. But if you look at the combo they have here, they have so much disengage and also hard engage, and have so much poke. If they get ahead, if they can land some poke, and then make sure Gambit can engage with them, they can actually win the game.
Well, the players are ready to go, and let's see how you guys did with the voting. According to your votes on lolesports.com, 62% of you believe that Gambit are going to take this one. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it is. We can't put too much on Gambit, but still, they are the favorites for this game. Fnatic have lost 8 games in a row, and they really need to bounce back soon.
Yeah, 8 games in a row. Almost unthinkable coming into the game when these two teams met last, of course. That was the game that started this whole rot when Gambit beat them.
And I just remember before that game, we talked about how strong Fnatic was. 7-0, we were like, whoa, this team is going to look so good. The longer we go into the season, it is going to keep on winning. And then all of a sudden, everything just went wrong for them. And now, biggest issue, lack of shot calling. More or less, they talked about it, the decision making isn't there. And then the confidence is more or less gone.
Yeah, I think we saw in the video yesterday where their confidence is right now. They look absolutely devastated. Soaz in particular, of course, he's had his fair share of, problems when it comes to social media, and the fact that he's got a lot of criticism, as players do in this kind of position. You know, they're in the spotlight this entire time, and after going 7-0 and then losing 8 in a row, then it's hard for these guys. But you see there, they're smiling. They seem to be having a lot of fun.
As long as they have fun together, as long as they support each other as a team, they will be able to get back. If they can ignore the social medias, the hate they're getting, and just focus on this, clapping each other, smiling now, they don't look like a team who lost 8 games in a row at the moment. They actually look like a team who want to go in here and win.
Yeah, and well, they need to win, don't they? Because the more they lose, for me, the more likely those losses are to continue. They need to get a win to just almost reset everything and start the long process of actually pushing all those wins away from them.
And also
those losses, sorry.
To kind of confirm that they are good players, they are a good team. That's why you need this win to say we actually have the right players here. And also champion-wise, are we playing the right things? We've changed it up a little bit. We're not playing Jinx anymore, which was so good for us early on. We stopped playing it. Was that the right call? If we can actually start winning again without the Jinx, obviously it was the right call.
Well, right now we are just waiting to get into the game. Apparently, Alex is not feeling 100% at the moment, so we're just going to let him have a bit of a time off the stage, and he'll get himself back. But hopefully, he'll be feeling a little bit better soon. For Fnatic, that's a good sign.
I guess, yeah, it is a good sign. But we've seen Alex before where he had a few issues, and then he still came in and he just played absolutely fantastic in the games.
Yeah.
I really think this mid matchup, Gragas against Nidalee, it's going to be a bit hard. Well, actually, it's going to be hard for them to kill each other. Both should be able to farm, but Gragas, he will be able to shove out the lane once he gets a few levels and then maybe roam around the map. Peggy really needs to be careful he doesn't let Alex do too much around the map, because then his team can fall behind.
Well, we have Alex there back on stage, so hopefully he is feeling a little bit better right now, and Gambit can get back on plan for this matchup. We just saw the admin just making sure that he's ready to go and that we don't need to wait on him any longer. But if we look at, we just talked about the mid lane, the fact that they're probably not going to be killing each other at all, maybe, possibly, although Peke's mid lane performances have kind of lead us to the fact that he might die a couple of times in lane, but it's going to be all about Diamond Procs and Cyanide, where they get involved and if they get involved in the mid lane.
And we definitely have the advantage to Diamond Procs early on with this Elise. He's so strong. Already the little free mark, he can actually start ganking, land a cocoon, go in, do all his damage. Cyanide, he wants to get the level 6 mark before he really can do the full optimal ganks, where he goes in, pops his ultimate, he can even flash after them during the ultimate, knock them up, pick up a kill. So he might be looking to farm a little bit to level 6, where we can see Diamond being more active early on. Or otherwise, we've seen Diamond in the past saying, you know what, our lane stay can do fine, I'm just going to farm up, be very, very strong, and then later on, when you get dragon fights, I'll join in.
So here we go then, Fnatic versus Gambit. As I said before, the big story in this one, a scrying orb, wow. The first time here in Europe?
First time we see a scrying orb, it is on Edward. It could potentially mean they want to try and spot out Cyanide, do some counter jungling towards him. If Diamond Procs walks into the jungle, he want to get vision of Cyanide, they pop down the scrying orb, and maybe find him, get a kill, or at least try and force him back. Or maybe it's just to be more safe in the bot lane, because they want to shove this bot lane up constantly against this Morgana, who has to land a binding to actually do some harass. So if they want to shove bot lane constantly, they will have the ward from Edward, and then they can the ward from Genji, and then they can time the scrying up to try and spot a gank coming in from Cyanide.
So let's go through the lanes here. We've already talked about the Nidalee versus Gragas in the middle lane. Top lane, though, is a matchup that we're not so used to seeing. It's going to be Mundo versus Lulu. As you said early on, Lulu's going to be able to put some great harass onto Mundo.
Generally, Dr. Mundo, he's a very slow starter, so we actually see Gambit, they want to do this lane swap, send him bot lane, try and get the farm he can get, because they think, they know at least, against the Lulu, he's going to take so much poke. It seems though Fnatic might have actually figured it out, because Lulu is moving towards the mid lane and Reckless is moving towards tops.
Well, we see the first spear of the game hitting there, landing straight in on towards Alexich at max range. And the swaps really are coming into this one. Yellow Star is now moving up towards the top side. They've got a ward down there early enough, and there is that scrying orb being used by Edward just to check out if anyone was waiting around by the blue buff. And, well, the first binding of the game landing as well from Yellow Star.
So Fnatic, they know the Gambit level 1 tactic of going into the enemy blue buff early on, try and stop them, pick up a kill, or at least delay them taking the blue buff. So Yellow Star, because they swapped up, they expected the swap to come. They see him put down a ward, spotted it, and they also land the first binding to get some harass on Edward.
Yeah, some good harassment coming down there. Half of Edward's health being stripped away from him just 2.5 minutes into this game. So although Gambit wanted this lane swap coming in there, at least for their first round, I guess we can say, before they go home, gonna be up 2 versus 2 in this top side, which leaves Lulu versus Mundo in the bottom.
Yeah, 2v2 they should be fine, but in the bot lane we will see how much Source can actually put onto Darien. He's very, very tanky as Dr. Mundo. You don't have too much damage here in the very early levels for Lulu. So, but once she gets a few levels, gets some ranks in her queue, she can really start poking him out of the lane.
Yeah, Doran's ring start actually for Soaz on Lulu, and Doran's shield start as you'd expect from Mundo, and that means that Soaz can afford to put down a bit more harass onto him, but it also leaves him a little bit more open and squishy if we do see Diamond come down. If
Diamond should come down and Soaz is overextended because he's shoving up the lane, there is potential for a kill for Gambit's side. The thing I noticed, the ward from Gambit they placed at the blue buff, Cyanide blue buff, was actually still up when Cyanide took the blue, so they now have the timer on it, they know where Cyanide was, and it means when the next blue buff spawns, we could potentially see Gambit going aggressive.
Yeah, the possibility to get in there and have a go at stealing that one. Meanwhile, we are possibly going to see the first gank of the game coming in. Diamond is waiting around on that top side of the map there. Obviously, the fact that you've got 3 brushes there instead of 2, obviously the new setup here in Season 4, makes it a little bit harder to sneak through there.
But as we talked about Diamond, he wants to be a little bit more aggressive early on with the Elise. With Cyanide, he's just farming away. He wants to hit this level 6 point, then he can do some very deadly ganks, especially combined with something like if a Darkbind trade from Yellow Star and then Cyanide comes in, that's a very, very CC lockdown target they can kill.
Now, a bit of pressure on towards Darien. I say a bit of pressure. He's taking a ton of damage down there and was finally forced back. And so as now that he's hit level 4, he's going to have a bit more harassment with that Q. Got 2 levels in that at this point, so we'll see how he continues to push this lane. For me, he's just going to have to wait there. They may even go for a 2-man dive on him.
This could be a very risky dive. Diamond, he's at the wolf camp. Doesn't seem like he's moving down though, so can they actually go for this one? They're going in.
They are going to go for this one. Double buffs actually up for Cyanide. There's the Ignite coming in, and it's an easy first blood picked up by Fnatic. Soaz tanked up the turret. Cyanide picked up the kill. They just walk away. Diamond couldn't get near it.
And that was beautiful timing. Diamond was nearby, but he had no vision of them, so he didn't know anything was going to happen. We actually had Darien trying to recall before, and then he cancelled it and stayed to get some more CS. It simply meant he died when Cyanide came in. Very nice gank from them, and they get the early first blood.
And Darien actually using his teleport to come straight back on into that lane and continue his farming. He's kicked things off here with a Negatron cloak, and he's going to need it, quite frankly. We've seen how much damage he's taking right off the bat from Soaz.
And there's one thing with Darien we always have to admire, is the fact he can always keep up on CS. Even though he was shoved all the way down to his turret earlier on, he still managed to be even in CS, and he's actually pulling ahead now thanks to the teleport. And that's just a Darien thing. You can die 5 times in lane, but he will still get the farm he needs.
Someone's looking for a little bit of early domination though in that lane now. Picked up an extra 2 Doran's rings, so bring him to 3 Doran's rings. How's that going to affect his build in the long term though?
It's going to delay the core items where he wants the Lich Bane, he wants the Fiends, and he wants the Death Cap. But he's simply building in for lane dominance and also 1v1 dominance, because last time he did the same build, he was more or less focusing on split pushing all the time. He just returned to the top lane, shoved it in. He might be doing the same here when he's going for these triple Dorans. Also gives him quite some good mana regen early on to really harass down Darien.
So mid lane up until now been fairly quiet as we'd expected of it, and it is Alex that has the CS lead on that one, as obviously with his barrels going on towards those caster minions at the back over and over. Pushed the wave up against XPK's turret a couple of times, but here's Cyanide looking to get involved once again, this time up on the top side.
It seems to be more maybe even towards a counter gank here, because Fnatic are pushed so far up, they won't actually be able to go for anything unless Gambit starts to fight. Cyanide, he's more there for safety. He could return now, unless he wants to wait and see if Diamond actually shows.
Oh, the wall's just gone down in the third part of that bush in the top lane, and Cyanide going to show himself up here, so they may be able to put a bit of damage down onto the tower, but don't think there's much potential for the kill. Cyanide is level 5, almost halfway up to level 6, and that's where he's going to become most deadly.
And now he got a little bit of bonus XP. He's going to return down. He might even go for his golems. No, he just warded for the bot lane, returning down to his own jungle. And meanwhile, in mid lane, we actually saw Peke going a little bit low. We had the ultimate used from Alex, but there's still a barrier onto Peke, so he's very hard to kill for him.
And not even having to use the barrier in that one, just leaping away from things, and that's going to mean that Cyanide now comes back over towards this mid lane, soaks up the experience, and going to get a bit more gold as well.
And that's so perfect for both Cyanide and Fnatic, because he can get the solo lane XP, he can hit the level 6 mark faster, and then he can really start being deadly. Once he does the Rift Camp and possibly the red buff and the Rift Camp, he should have the level 6 mark, and then we can really see where he wants to go and gank.
Oh, there's the blue buff, first one of the game donated over towards Alex in the mid lane. Didn't just hit his recall there. I'm guessing he's sat on a decent amount of cash with 61 CS and not being back to pick any first items up there yet. But this top lane, we said the lane swaps did come in from Gambit first of all. Fnatic reacted to it very early on. Left us at 2 versus 2 in that top side, and we can see that Reckless has got a small advantage in there. 5 CS is going to come back into lane with a BF sword.
Yeah, Fnatic has been doing a very good job CSing here. Slightly ahead, Genji obviously getting some CS now, but Reckless will come up to the lane, get the big wave when it comes down to him, and also he's going to get the solo and XP together with Genji, so both AD carries. Fairly happy so far. The BF sword though is a big deal compared to a Vampire Scepter. This is a big power spike in favor of Reckless in case they do want to fight.
Interesting now, we saw said earlier on that they saw Cyanide taking the blue buff and they may look to go for that one. Actually, Edward did start to come down, but I think just getting himself a fairly deep ward in from that one, and that is going to be going over to X. Peke finishes off with a spear and he's already on his way back into that mid lane. Oh, Darian down the bottom, getting very low. This is surely a kill. Soaz is going to pick that one up. Wild growths himself to protect himself from the turret, and he can farm. Diamond's not even there. Brilliant kill.
The Lulu pick is really doing work here for Soaz, and also the fact Fnatic countered the lane swap, so they got him in this 1v1. He now got his first kill. He got an assist well. Now started going aggressive in mid.
Oh, this is bad news for Alex. He's going to get knocked up. He flashes. Will that be enough to get away? Where's the spear here? The minions are going to block Peke out, and Alex somehow survives.
The very mobile Gragas with Body Slam and Flash manages to survive. So, Cyanide actually used both Flash and his ultimate. Didn't manage to pick up the kill, but they did get Alex all the way down to his own turret.
And if he catches another spear here, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Don't expect him to. Ooh. Oh, almost belly slam, body slammed into that one.
Better.
Almost went straight into that one, but luckily for him, not the case. Back into this top lane though, we said the BF sword might become a bit of a problem compared to Genji's Vamp Scepter.
And we have the level 6 now onto Yellow Star, so in case a fight should break out, his ultimate is very strong because you have damage and also you lock this target down if they stay close to you. So it can be very good disengage and also very good if Gambit comes up with someone like Diamond trying to dive them. It's very risky against the Morgana on their turret.
I have to say, Diamond's actually been fairly quiet so far throughout this game, as we are going to see these Spiderlings doing basically their anti-niddly work and just taking no spear damage. Actually, a good ward cleared out there for Diamond. Going to get replaced straight off, but look at this. We're talking about this in the pre-game, that they love to go for these early dragons.
There's a ward on it, and Source is already moving up. Cyanide is closing in, and Peke, he's coming down as well. Alex is still left in the mid lane.
Oh, they are going to pick that one up though, but Darian's going to pay the price for this. He's popped his ultimate, but will he be able to escape? Oh, what a flash over the wall. He's somehow got to the back of that one. There's a barrel coming out from Alex. Peke going to keep chasing on from this one. Spear goes through. One more will do it, but the cooldown surely not going to work out as the minions come across again. That will keep Alex safe if he actually moves away and Peke doesn't land one.
If Gambit can defend this turret, they actually win out on this because they got the dragon, and Darren, he's teleporting in. They should be able to defend it.
Let's see about that one. Darren going to catch that spear up close. Diamond actually going fairly low from it. Soaz basically that's doing all the damage there at the back. The spear doesn't quite land onto Alex. He's going to have to recall. Diamond's going to have to recall through as well.
And look at this poke combo from Fnatic with the Lulu and with the Nidalee. Constantly just throwing stuff in. If they hit Gambit multiple times, they have to back off from the turret and they can keep pushing.
Not Darren now. All of a sudden finds himself left alone, catches another spear, and he's going to have a bit more time on his own here to try and defend this turret. The spear goes flying through. Turret already down to about a quarter of its health remaining, and they're going to finish it here. That's a good solid push from Fnatic.
It's a very nice response to the dragon Gambit managed to pick up. They didn't get any kills for it, but taking the mid turret is very important. It puts more pressure onto Gambit because it denies some vision. And now up in the top lane, will they ever try something? Seems he's just backing off.
Just trying to zone them out of this one completely, and even if the hook lands at this point, Yellow Star going to be able to defend out pretty well against any of that. We see that Fnatic have actually backed off and going to be taking the white camp down in the mid lane though. Let's take a look there because it's been pressured pretty heavily by Alex at this point, and actually he's done a lot of damage. Is that going to be enough to finish off? The heal comes out from Peke. Ignite was running and he survives just.
And Alex have tried a few times to actually get a kill onto Peke, but he haven't managed. The barrier as well, make it very hard for him to actually land the kill. And also, Nidalee, she's fairly safe because you can stay so far back, try and farm with your spears as much as possible. Alex have been doing a fairly good job though of at least trying to pressure down Peke.
A couple of items being picked up from that one. Actually, Peke's Fiend's Unholy Grail is done. Soaz did collect his Nuncy Large Rod a little bit earlier on, has now put an extra Amp Tome into that one. So not only is he sat at 1-0-1, his CS lead is finally starting to build up, although you have to give credit to Darren. He's died twice and still not that far behind.
Again, that is just Darren. He will always get the farm he needs. Yes, he might die for it, but he will at least pick up the farm. So he's actually having the early Spirit Visage to prevent some of the damage from both Soaz and also from Peke. smart item. He's gonna need some armor as well though, because Cyanide and Reckless will be doing a lot of physical damage.
See now as that blue buff comes in, 2, make that 3 wards around the blue buff area, so they've got good vision on this one. Actually, Soaz going to be poked down a little bit by Darian, and that will force him to back off. They've actually got a ward in position there now, Gambit as well, so they can see over the wall. They know that Peke and Cyanide were both inside of that blue camp. Are they going to be able to stop them having it? Diamond is going to come in there at the front, and I think Fnatic are a little bit scared about this one. No, they're not. They're going straight in. There's a spear landing. Alex is very low. Will he get finished? Yes, he will. Now they focus around on towards Diamond. Wild Growth is in there. It's a double kill for the Monkey King.
And look at the coordination for Fnatic when they actually start the fight. Cyanide, he goes in, pops the Cyclone, so while Alex is knocked up, you see the spear from Peke going in. No chance of dodging it. Lands onto Alex. He drops low, and then Cyanide can actually pick up the kill. And then following, going on to Diamond, no chance for him to actually do anything in return. He dies as well. Fnatic, they're looking so strong.
That 3-man team is pretty hard to work against, to be honest. Lulu in there, he's going to be able to get the second knock-up after the Cyclone. You've got the heal from Peke as well for Cyanide, who's in there taking all the damage, and we just saw it there. They can mop up quite easily with that.
It was just as we talked about in Champions League with Cyanide, how aggressive he can be. Because you have this Lulu, you have the shield, you have the ultimate to prevent you from dying. So you can just go and pop the ultimate in the middle of Gambit, and he won't even die for it, as we saw in this fight.
Looking good so far for Fnatic. Gambit, not a team that you ever count out of a game though, even though they're 4-0 down on kills, 2-0 down on turrets. It's only a 2,000 gold lead, which, you know, one decent fight and it can all change around.
The very positive thing for Fnatic is that fact they're playing this poke combo. Once you're ahead with a poke combo, you have the vision control, and you start just throwing these spears in, you start poking away with Lulu. It is very hard for a team, no matter how good it is, to actually come back. So that's really going in favor of Fnatic, the fact they're winning this early game. And if they can manage to pick up the next dragon coming in 1 minute and 30 seconds, they will be getting a good lead.
I just saw that scrying orb used by Edward just to check out the brushes on that top side, but now it's Reckless and Soaz who are there, and Reckless himself got good amounts of poke, and here is Peke actually coming in from the side. The spear dodged just in time. The hook from Edward doesn't connect on towards Peke, but now Alex has actually moved in there, and Peke, well, he's just going to leap away from danger.
And notice how Cyanide is the only member not up in this top lane. Everyone else is there. Fnatic is trying to poke down the members from Gambit so they can go into the turret. And a spear landing onto Diamond. He's very, very low.
Less than half HP. Another one will end up killing him. That's a lot of damage coming in. Edward throws out the hook that doesn't connect. Darian's taking damage as well. That basically means a free spear gets thrown at Alex in the end, and they've pushed them away.
And look at the mid lane. Cyanide, he's just pushing down the turret. He wasn't even there, but Gambit, too low from all the poke. They can't engage. And Cyanide, he's getting damage on the mid turret now.
A split push poke combo that's working out quite nicely here for Fnatic. Cyanide is going to back away from that one. What's the rest of the team doing though? Are they going to keep pushing that top lane? Actually, no, they're coming down, and this is what we talked about here, or that you talked about. The turrets go down, they start getting their wards in. Makes it so dangerous for Gambit to go anywhere near their own jungle.
It makes it so hard for them to actually do an engage unless they're standing right in the face of Fnatic, where it's easy for them to both getting poked down, and also for the Black Shield of Yellow Star to stop a possible hook engage. So as long as Fnatic can keep vision in the jungle of Gambit, they can just go to the lanes they want and start more or less sieging them down. The risky thing for Fnatic though is if they start a fight without Gambit being poked, because then Gambit would be very strong and it would happen to someone like Darian.
The problem that they have here, if they were to even try going for this dragon though, is that with Lulu, Morgana, pretty much with all of them, it's hard to get through those narrow entrances. As Darian here going to use his ultimate, is he going to be caught down though? No, he isn't. Actually lands a good cleaver on towards Peke. The rest of the team were starting to close in, and Gambit need to move over there.
Yeah, and you see Genji, he was actually in the top lane. He could have pushed the turret, but decided to recall because he knows how hard Fnatic can push this turret, and also that the rest of Gambit can do anything. Gedward getting poked.
Everything landing onto him there. The boomerang goes flying through as well, and Fnatic know that they can. They've even got the sustain from Peke, who can heal himself or anyone else up on that one. Darian's actually going to go over towards mid lane, and once he shows himself there, that's going to be a really, really dangerous time. I think that's more of a sign of we're going to have to give this one up anyway.
It's just a matter of time before Gambit more or less have to try and engage, because if they keep having Fnatic just poking them away, hitting the turret, they will slowly just lose every single turret they actually have. So at some point they will need to throw down the barrel from Alex, try to engage, try a hook, or there's Darren going in from the side with landing a cleaver and starting a fight.
This is very reminiscent as well from the Fnatic, the successful Fnatic of last year. They loved running, you know, the niddly poke compositions coming in there that they were able to split push with as well. So that's a very much an old Darien move as well. Just head off on your own and be a nuisance elsewhere across the map. Done some good damage to that middle turret, but nothing that's going to trouble Fnatic as yet.
And Gambit actually managed to save the turret up here. Didn't go down. Fnatic decided to back off. So very smart move by Darien, going to mid lane, getting some extra farm. He's now going top, getting even more farm. The tankier he can be, the harder it will be for Fnatic to actually take him down, because the combo is not exactly built to just kill a tank. It's built to hit these squishy targets in the back, and then when everyone is so low from Gambit, then you engage and you win the fight.
Yeah, if they can get just one person out there, if they don't have Genja in the fight, then it should, in theory, be an easier win for them as they go in. But once again, Darien up on that top lane on his own. Gambit actually trying to slowly but surely get a little bit more vision control. Is this where that scrying orb shows its weakness almost? Is this where Edward needs to think about moving over and getting sweeping lenses to clear out?
He could potentially get it to clear some wards, but again, scrying up can help them as well if they don't have any vision in the jungle and they want to avoid getting picked out. Or for instance, Fnatic starts a Baron and they want to get some vision on it so they don't get caught in the jungle. That's actually where the scrying up can be very useful for him. A thing we do notice is the fact that Fnatic have so much focus on the blue buffs. They went in there, timed it, took it away from Gambit, made sure Pekka got it so he can continue poking and continue healing away.
That trade was an inner turret for an outer turret. And now Darien is going to be forced to back away from things because Soaz has recalled and he's heading back towards to protect that inner turret in the top lane from Darien, who's been that nuisance here, left alone from his team. But now, while it's nice for them to take a turret like that, they've lost their inner turret, although I'm not sure even if Darien was there, they could have done anything about it.
And that's actually the reason it was a smart move by Darien, because he's just trying to get some gold back from Gambit. He just needs to get whatever he can pretty much whatever he can actually get. That was his turret, because again, the turret already was low in the bot lane, they couldn't defend it. Smart enough by him. The next few turrets though, they need to do something about. If they just keep losing them, it's too easy for Fnatic to just walk into the base.
Oh, there's Darien being a bit of a ninja and recalling himself in the tribush. No one from Fnatic actually checking that one. And they're just going to push up. There's that inner turret up for grabs in the top lane. Of course, they were putting pressure onto that one just a little bit earlier on. They also need to deal with Alex down in the bottom lane, who slowly made his way further and further down the lane. That's a blue buff Xpeke who isn't going to have any problems really with pushing out that way. Will he actually go in for Alex? No, Alex got the recall off. And there is the blue buff given over this time to Soaz.
So we need to see what Fnatic wants to do at the moment. They have the option of pretty much going 5 people up to a turret, start poking away, sieging it down. Maybe they will want to go for the split push. We have Pekka down in the bot lane. The rest of Fnatic is in mid lane, so they can potentially just chop up 2 waves and force Gambit to react to it. They need to be careful though, because if they get hard engage on when they're not together as 5, Gambit has the chance to pull back.
Alex is going to have good wave clear here, but problem is, by the time he's got rid of that wave, they've done so much damage to the turret already. He'll start using that sweeping lens just to clear things out, and Edward instantly replacing the ward straight away after that. So Alex has already used his barrel here, and now we're going to see how hard it is, and he has to use his ultimate actually to keep them away from the tower.
And now notice how much damage Lulu can actually take with the shield. Pop it onto someone like yourself or Reckless, put the black shield on the same target, go and hit the turret a few times. That's how Fnatic wants to poke it down, and then meanwhile just constantly landing the spears.
Well, when they're all bunched up, it makes it a little bit easier to do. There's another one he's going to go through. Diamond surviving that one. Turret won't be so lucky, though. That is turret number 5 of the game, and so hard to stop this here from Gambit.
Yeah, at the moment, it's more or less Fnatic's game to actually lose, because they have so many options to push down the turrets. They can even try and set up something like a Baron, but they don't have to, because the combo is already strong. They're already ahead. They can just keep putting on this pressure. Sanad, he's going up to the top lane now, going to shove the wave out all the way into the turret. Genji, though, he wants to go in there and pick up some farm.
Darien doing a similar thing down bottom as well. But that actually might come to haunt him here. I mean, he is Mundo, he's got that Spirit Visage in there. Got plenty of help with the workings of that Sunfire cape now coming up as well. Quite going to be taken here by Xpeke. A little bit more farm taken from Gambit's jungle. We've got 30 seconds until Dragon comes up. Fnatic already moving in position for it. We can see that Gambit might think about something on it as well.
They're going for him.
Oh, I'm not sure he's going to get away from this one.
Nope.
Wild Growth going to knock him up. Good flash over. Will he land a spear into him from this? Darien is charging on forward, and actually Diamond's coming in there. And well, I should have learned by now. Yeah, I should never doubt Darien, especially on Mundo's regenning.
It does mean, however, Dragon will be picked up by Fnatic once again, or at least they're in a good position for it. Darien, he has to recall. The teleport is ready in case Gambit wants to fight, but Genji, he's all the way up in the top lane, and it seems he just want to back off.
He's going to stay there. This Dragon is going to go down. Another one here for Fnatic. They're now 35,000 gold. So let's call it 30. So 5,000 gold lead that they're holding themselves steady with. They're struggling to hold on to their turrets, which is a real worrying thing. Look at the gold to spend here for Fnatic. That's going to be a lot of items being picked up when they go back.
But at the moment, they can just push up this mid turret because Genji, he's up in the top lane trying to farm. Darren, he's down in the bot lane. He will have to TP in, and Genji, he's recalling now. If they go straight in, get a few hits on the turret, he won't be there.
Well, Peke moving forward to do that one, and actually Fnatic decide, you know what, we not have full vision of where the rest of the team is. And Darian, he's been that nuisance once again, down in the bottom lane. As he said, he's got teleport, so he's the one that can really join the team if he does find himself under any kind of pressure. Yellow Star is going to move on down there, but I'm not sure that Yellow Star can really do much about this one. There is Soaz, though, speeding himself in. Darian's caught. He does have his ulti available. He's going to use that quite early. They're going to throw everything that they've got at him here just to lock him down. There's the Dark Binding. It takes a while, but Soaz finishes off.
And this time around, he didn't have his flash because he used it before to escape the gank from Peke and Soaz. But Gambit is actually doing a smart enough thing. They want to shove up all the lanes to make Fnatic back off. Meanwhile, though, Fnatic this time around, they won't get the blue buff, but they can get Diamond.
That was a really, really good repel there from Diamond right at the last second. Actually, Alex using his barrel here to keep Peke away. That's some good damage going through the Culling as well. Peke has to pounce away from that, but Fnatic are moving in around the side.
There's only 4 members from Gambit, 7 seconds on Darren, he has teleport, he can join the fight. It seems though Fnatic just want to shove up this lane again and not focus too much on fighting, but just constantly poking and sieging down turrets.
This might be a mistake here from Gambit. Instead of just backing off straight up the mid lane, they actually went through their own jungle, which means they've just been pushed out of defensive position here for this mid lane. It means that if they were to fight, they're going to have to come in split up as well.
And if they actually want to fight, it's full on, everyone goes in. Not one guy going in and the rest backing off. Gambit at the moment need every single member to join in for the fight, and that's why if they're uncoordinated, it's going to be too easy for Fnatic to more or less counter the engage and then turn it around.
Now, we did see a couple of items coming in. I said that Fnatic was sat on quite a lot of gold there. We saw the Rabadon's death cap, or the makings of that Rabadon's death cap. Okay, now he's just bought it this last second. That's good for me. For Lulu, along with the Morella Nomicon as well. And we, on the other side, saw a Locket of the Iron Solari coming in, for example, again, for Diamond. Trying to be a little bit more tanky, someone that can, along with Darian, soak up all the poke that Fnatic are throwing their way.
That's more or less the deal for Gambit. If they can survive once the fight actually starts, they might be able to win it because, again, it's a very poke-heavy combo from Fnatic. On the other hand, the Morello Nomicon onto Source, it's very, very smart against Darren because whenever he's low, it's going to apply the healing debuff and make sure that he won't regain as much as normally, and they can maybe even take him down faster than he expected. He's actually going very aggressive on Source.
Well, this is a very squishy Lulu, but here comes Cyanide from the side. Going to use his Cyclone. Have they got the damage to actually finish off Darien? There is the Ignite put down as well. Soaz wins that one out, and again, Darien trying his best down there at bottom. It would have been a great move if Cyanide wasn't around.
If Cyanide wasn't there, but the rest of Gambit didn't react either, so he was more or less alone, and there was a high chance of someone from Fnatic to come down. It more or less seems to me that Darren just want to try and get whatever he actually can. He's still even in farm compared to Source, so he's at least getting the items. He's actually becoming fairly tanky already, which is a good thing for Gambit, but he needs to be careful he doesn't give up too many deaths.
Well, something that Darien, I think less of this season, but especially last season, we saw him so many times when he felt like, okay, this game's maybe over, or this is a game where we're going to really struggle to come back from that. He loses a little bit of focus, goes off on his own. Actually, Cyanide going to get caught out a little bit, but got that decoy available.
It is the Gambit style, though, if they're behind, of having Genji in one lane just farming away, and then you have Darren in the other lane, and then you more or less just say, we just keep farming. We don't care about dying, we just farm, and at some point we'll get the items we need, and we can try and make a comeback.
Well, those spears are starting to really sting from Peke. Rabadon's death cap actually has a blue elixir as well, ready to pop when he actually wants to. And it looks like they want to make a move now for this Inatori in the top lane.
But it's such a scary point there because Peke, he can even stand down here on the side, constantly throwing the spears. There's a chance he's hitting a member pretty much every single time as long as the minion wave is not there. And look how fast Reckless just clears it out, no minions now, and he can start keep throwing in the spears, throwing the boomerang, and just constantly try and poke them down.
So that's already hammering away on that middle turret. Finally, actually, Darien comes across the side to try and stop that one from happening. Peke trying to land the spears onto whoever he can on that backside from Darien, two of which have the dash, which is obviously going to be on longer cooldowns than what that spear is. So they've got to use those ones carefully. There's the hook, Peke just leaping away.
One positive thing for Gambit is the fact that Darren can actually 1v1 Source because he's so tanky. So it means the Source is now joining the team, and instead Gambit can focus on everything. They might be going in for this one.
It's a good bit of damage actually coming in from the side, from the call in there with Genja. He's actually alone in the jungle. Needs to be a little bit careful about it. Does get slowed, but they don't follow through. Oh, they did have vision. There's a pink ward just below there, but not wanting to push on. Meanwhile, Darian is just going to go into the lane. Push, push, push. In the middle lane this time on the inner turret.
And Source, he's recalling. No, he's actually going to stay. So Fnatic, they want this turret. And Gambit, if they can keep defending and Darren can actually pick up his turret, it will be what needed. They're going in.
And they're going in for this one. Are they going to get anything from it? Edward goes very low. He's put the box down. They pick off Diamond first of all. Edward will fall. That's 2 kills here for Fnatic. Who are they going to go for next? Alex off to the left. Kind of alone here in the jungle. They're finally going to get back together. Spear lands on towards Genja. Peke very, very quick with that speed burst out of Lulu. But look at Gambit's positioning. They either stick around here and maybe lose a couple more kills, which it looks like they will. That is good stuff from Yellow Star. It's the spear from downtown from Peke that gets it in the end. And that is 3 men currently dead, 4 men in total. Who are they going to go for next here? Are they going to keep chasing Genja all the way around?
It seems they don't feel safe enough to actually take the Baron. 2 members from Gambit already respawned, so they just want to chase down Genja, make sure to get a kill. And there's no way he's going to escape this one.
No. Walks in there, a monkey spots him. There's the dash back over the wall, and Genja now on a trip to try and escape once again. This time, Peke coming in there. Finally, he does go down. Peke now on a killing spree, sat at 3-0-3.
And it's 10-0 for Fnatic. Not a single kill on Gambit's side. They've been trying to just farm up and not exactly go for these kills, and every single time we have seen somewhat of a fight, Fnatic has won it. And if they can keep doing this, if they can keep playing safe, make no mistakes, they will get their win back.
Edward just trying to get vision of Baron Pit, which honestly Fnatic, it'd be nice to have, but they don't really need to play that risky game of going in there for that barrel, especially when there's people like Elise and Gragas that can throw masses of damage at it very, very quickly. Dragon is going to be safer for them, of course, and that's what they're doing right now. Only Darian is there, and they'll just block any choppers that he can throw through there to try for the steal.
Back to the Baron point you just did. Cocoon actually landing onto the bone of Cyanide. Darren, he's probably ultimate. Can he go for something?
Throwing his ulti down very fast here, and Fnatic obviously don't want to fight with that while his regen's in there. No point in doing the damage because it's all going to get healed straight back up. In the end, though, they repel that one. Gambit just looking for that pick, maybe trying to get into a 5v4 scenario where they can then maybe force something else.
And if we go back to the Baron point you just had before, it is actually very smart. They don't want to risk it because something like a Gragas, if you don't have proper vision in the enemy jungle, it's very easy for him to go in there, land his Q and then his ultimate to try and steal the Baron. So it's very smart for Fnatic not taking any chances, unless possibly they have full ward coverage in jungle of Gambit, then they might start it.
Fnatic don't need risks at this point. I mean, they've lost 8 games in a row now. It was Gambit that first put them there, so I guess it's a fitting story if they were to get back on track with a win over Gambit. So no mistakes from this one. They know the composition, they know exactly how they need to play this one and keep going forward. Up till now, they've not lost a single man. 10-0 in kills. They've got a 9,000 gold lead. They're up in turrets. Everything's going their way. No risks.
No risk at all. And the funny thing is, they're actually winning at the moment with a double AP combo. Everyone has talked so much about, oh, was that the reason they started losing because they tried out new picks? We have Lulu top on Source. He's been playing pretty much perfect the entire game. He won the laning phase, picked up 2 kills onto Darien. I mean, from there on out, they just took full control to Blue from Gambit, they took control to Dragons, and just been pressuring them down in every single lane.
And we just saw there a great statistic. They've taken 3 Dragons this game, which is better than they've done in a lot of their last games as well. So it just shows that a different side of Fnatic coming out from this one. Edward just getting blasted there with the poke out of Reckless and Xpeke. Will they try and take advantage of Gambit's positioning now? Once again spotted off towards the left-hand side in their own jungle, and Fnatic marching on up mid lane.
Yeah, Fnatic was simply waiting for some key items. We have the Void Staff onto Peke, and also we have the Lich Bane now completed on Source. That is a lot of tower pushing potential with a Lich Bane Lulu. So now, once he's going to join in the team, they can really start doing the heavy siege.
Here we go, they start to do some damage. Peke going to be knocked back, but Reckless actually spell shielded. That ultimate coming out, there's another spear landing. Edward is way out of position. He throws down the box, that's going to slow Cyanide and Soaz, but there we just see the talisman popped, and they just all start to back off once again. Are they going to actually go for a fight here, Gambit? It's 5v4, of course. They don't have the support, who's one of their big sources of initiation, and Darien goes a little bit too far forward. Is he going to drop Morgana ulti doing work? There is Genja falling low. Darien is still alive. 5 there at the back, and he's regenning fast enough. But look at Reckless, he could pick them all up here. He's going to get himself 2. Can he get more? No. Gambit escaped, but they're 3 men down. This will be the first inhib of the game.
And Gambit almost managed to disengage by a very nice cocoon from Diamond, but then the rest of Fnatic just followed up. Sanite, he came into the backline, he got the Lulu ultimate, popped him off, and then Reckless, he just went huge on them in the end.
And we see not only the inhibitor, but a Nexus turret taken down. There is a Dark Bind, and then I'll stop Darian chasing them down. And Fnatic happy with that one again. Another good load of cash for them to all head home with and spend up.
And the worst thing when you're playing against a poke combo is losing an inhib, because that lane will push by itself. So that simply means they can go to different lanes now, start sieging them down, and you have to move a person down to constantly shove up the mid lane. And you can't afford that, because then they can simply just dive. You pop the ultimate from Reckless, Sana goes in, and he just spins around on the enemy team, and you just destroyed him.
Oh, Sana looking to recall here, and in the end actually will land that clear, and he's going to pop his ultimate to get that movement speed. There's the decoy. Dashes out actually, and they're going to try and chase him down, but Reckless is there at the front. Reckless actually going to be tanking up a lot of that damage, and here comes Soa. Darian slowed right down from that one. He's going to go for the Lantern. He takes the Lantern. Oh, he's gone down just in that last auto attack from Reckless, enough to finish him off.
Why is Darian having a Sheen? That is the question of the game.
Because it's Darian.
Because it's Darren, true. He's actually picked up a Sheen on Dr. Mundo. He constantly pulls out these new kind of builds. This time around, he actually tried to get a pick onto Signet so they could possibly go on for a Baron, and then maybe tried a little bit of a comeback, but he couldn't pick it up. The rest of Fnatic was there to stop it, and in the end, he just died again.
Oh, let's see. There's another spear going through. Spiderlin's not blocking that one, and Peke feeling like he could maybe have a good go. It lands another one actually onto Alex, who's going to body slam away. That minion wave is now pushing up through the mid lane on Fnatic here. Funnily enough, could Siege actually on the Nexus, so look at that, look how low he got. Only one more auto attack needed. That's a bit of a mistake from Gambit letting that happen.
If it actually died, it would have been horrible for them. They managed to keep it alive. It's going to regain some health back, so it will get back to full HP as long as they can keep defending it. But they have pushed so far into their own base that now Fnatic actually feels comfortable starting this Baron. This is the chance though for Gambit to try comeback. If Alex can come down, steal it, he has a ward on it and it hasn't been cleared yet. If he can steal it, there is the chance for Gambit comeback.
Yellow Star and Peke though trying to play the zoning game off to the side. Baron is pretty low. There's the Q and the ultimate a little bit too early. He smites it down in the end, and now they turn up for the kills. There's a good repel. They've already picked off Alex H. Darian gonna get locked up. They need to get on top of the Lantern there so that he can't take it. It times out. Darian not gonna escape just yet, and there's the monkey coming around the side. Another Dark Binding lands. Darian will go down to Soaz. That's 3 men dead for 35 seconds on Gragas, for 45 on the others. They could probably go and win it now.
And that was such a nice play by Fnatic. The rest of them moved out of the Baron pit, stopped Alex from going there, so he had to go in early, throw down all his spells. Now, 3 people are dead from Gambit. Fnatic, they can finish this game.
They're going in for it. They've taken down that Nexus turret, and they're going to go straight for the victory. Nexus going to be focused, and Fnatic finally do it. They pick up a win after losing 8 games in a row. And it's none other than Gambit that they take down in there. The team that started off this horrible run for them. That win is a huge relief for them.
It is the biggest thing for them at the moment. The confidence are coming back. They showed the double AB combo working. Soul played a fantastic game. Pega played a fantastic game. And all in all, Sana had an early game, so strong on the Wukong. Everything worked out for them, and they didn't give up a single kill in the entire game.
17 for 0 in kills. 8-2 in turrets, and to be honest, 2 of them were taken simply because Darian was off on his own doing his thing. Really strong play out of Fnatic. 5-0-9 for Soaz. We talked about how his confidence has been knocked and how he needed a good performance just to win. I don't think it even needed to be a good performance, just a win to get Fnatic back on track and to build his confidence back up, and that's one way to do it.
And you can't possibly win a more one-sided game. 17-0, you get so many towers, you get Baron, you get everything, you give up nothing. Fnatic didn't make a single mistake the entire game. That is the best possible